seems that Wendy Williams has been betrayed by the two most important men in her life. And if with her ex-husband Kevin Hunter, she found the strength to fight back and win, it feels that alienation from her son Kevin Jr. is breaking her shattered heart and worsening her unstable emotional state. Once, she even lost during her TV show, confessing that it's hard to see her only son throwing tantrums at her. Hi everyone, and welcome back to CELEB Live channel. We are following the most important and scandalous events in show business and always bring you fresh updates on the lives of your favorite celebrities. We have been worried about the well-being of TV host Wendy Williams for quite a while now. With the recent scandals surrounding her divorce, it was impossible to imagine that the biggest blow is still coming. But stay with us until the end to see for yourself. The list of Wendy Williams' recent misfortunes is a long one. However, she didn't expect that the worst is yet, it comes, and it would be nonetheless, but her own flesh and blood, her only son, Kevin Jr. Yes, even being one of the most famous stars on TV, you're not protected from your children's betrayals and alienation. Wendy's life has been slowly coming down in ruins as she was struggling with multiple issues. Yet, instead of her son's support, she experienced his negligence and indifference. What could possibly happen to her son while she was in rehab, because it was right after her release that he stopped talking to her completely? Stick around, because we have the answer. An anonymous source claimed that the coldness in the mother-son relations started as soon as Wendy left the fancy rehab center in Malibu, although he stated the two of them were constantly in touch, while the TV star was battling her issues and getting the treatment she needed. However, communication stopped the second she was out of the hospital. The source close to the family commented, "Kevin has been through hell this year with everything going on with his mom. It breaks his heart that things seemed to be going well while she was in rehab, but as soon as she got her freedom, she hasn't reached out to him since." The additional statement followed. Kevin has been trying to stay focused and finish up his last year of school, but it's been challenging having to deal with everything going on with his mother. Considering how much Wendy has sacrificed for her son since his first days of life, it's tragic and upsetting to see Kevin Jr.'s behavior and attitude towards his mother, especially knowing how close they were in the past and how proud Williams was of having such a special connection with her child. Although the past 2 years have been challenging for their bond, mainly because Kevin insisted on his mother getting professional help with issues, otherwise he might be leaving her for good. With such an ultimatum, Wendy had no choice but to respect her son's wishes and fix her mental state in rehab. This sounds just horrible, but things were different when Kevin was younger. They used to have fun and be kind to each other. When asked about their relationship on the Conan talk show, she said that she was looking for balance in her son's upbringing. She revealed that sometimes she acted like a cool mom, and in some situations, she played a bad cop. In general, she sounded enthusiastic and proud of their connection. Could this be the reason why Kevin Jr. insisted on her going to the medical facility? Yes, it seems like he sincerely wanted her to become better and to feel better. However, at the beginning of 2022, he started treating her not as an ally and a loved one, but as a complete stranger. Where did that caring and loving son go? Paparazzi have often seen them together, being there for each other, and most importantly, seeing Kevin around his mother when she felt the most vulnerable and miserable. For example, it was Kevin Jr. who accompanied her to Florida while she was dealing with her struggles after a tough year. Wendy was caught on camera in a wheelchair, and her son was by her side, carrying groceries. They spent 3 happy months in Florida, and their relationship seemed to be thriving. Williams was surrounded by people she loved and was feeling as great as never. Coming back to New York City in March 2022, the TV star seemed to be happy and, most importantly, sober. However, the following months were marked by several unpleasant incidents in the public related to alcohol. As a result, Wendy went into rehab less than 6 months after coming back from another medical facility. Fans know that Williams has a history of alcohol. It has been poisoning her life and damaging her physical and mental health for quite a while now. One source who claims he's very close with the TV star mentioned that Wendy was treated for extreme alcohol abuse. As it turns out, no other drugs were involved. With the health experts constantly warning Wendy about the dangers of consuming alcohol, she never really thought of stopping. Even knowing that her bad habit was potentially lethal, no one in Nice ever stopped her from drinking. Could that be the reason why she missed almost the entire last season of her own TV show, making no appearance at all? Or is the cause lies in other disorders she was dealing with? Apparently, Wendy was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition called Graves' disease and also suffered from lymphedema. People who occasionally met the celebrity on the streets of New York City filmed her in various bad conditions, including being blind drunk and looking unwell. Now we can clearly understand why the Wendy Williams show was canceled without any updates about renewal. Her time slot on TV was given to Sherri Shepherd, Williams' ex-co-host. Having lost her main source of income and with the problems piling one onto another, Wendy couldn't expect things would be getting worse and worse for her. Rumors have spread that the TV star lost access to her bank account with millions of dollars in it at the beginning of 2022. Wells Fargo has frozen her accounts with no chance to perform any financial operation. Despite her hopes to regain access to the funds, she couldn't. As a result, her team has received any payments for many months because of this problem. Wendy herself was placed under temporary financial guardianship and started to receive a small allowance, which is not sufficient enough and doesn't meet her expectations and lifestyle. Basically, this financial advisor left her out there to die and forced her to use Amex to cover all living expenses. Allegedly, this situation worsened her cloudless relationship with Kevin Jr. It's one thing when you lose access to the funds you've been working hard for the last 30 years, but losing the trust and love of your child due to the things you have no control over, it's just terrible. Kevin Jr. faced a lot of problems, and he tries to pin the blame on his mother. The media has found out that the young man was evicted from his apartment in Florida because of unpaid rent. It's mentioned that owned the landlord $70,000. In August, right when Wendy went into rehab in Nice, Kevin Jr. received an eviction note. It came as a shock to him that his rent hasn't been paid since February because his mom was supposed to care of it and pay the entire year up front. Hunter Jr. shared how his mother's emotional instability and drinking problems got in the way of his life, especially when she promised him to buy this very same apartment in Miami after the end of the lease. He added that her health issues prevented her from giving him proper support, particularly in terms of housing. Kevin said it was his name on the lease agreement, but it was Wendy who always paid his rent. And as we already know, Wendy lost access to her funds due to unexpected and rapidly progressing health problems. Wendy's ex and the father of her child, Kevin Hunter, shared his own opinion on the situation. He said that despite the troubles with the landlord and unpaid rent, Kevin was still doing okay and found a new place to stay. But is this the only reason Kevin so suddenly stopped talking to his mom? Is he avoiding her because of unpaid rent? While during the entire previous year, when his landlord in Miami was getting money in full, Kevin was a good son who took care of his mother and constantly traveled between Nice and Florida to be with her? Could he only be a good son while money was generously flowing into his pockets? Was it his father's bad influence? This news seriously shattered Wendy because she's in control of her funds right now, but still needs moral support to go through tough times and get access to her riches again. Although Kevin Jr. left his posh apartment in Miami and moved to another place, he's possibly still angry with Wendy for his problems and misfortunes. This is the only explanation for why the two of them have some issues and don't talk to each other. The eviction note arrived at the same time as Wendy left the rehab, and her son's cold attitude might hint that this is what he's unhappy about. Despite previously saying how much he loved and cared for his mom, now Hunter contradicts his own words by holding grudges against his mother over the things she is not responsible for. We can certainly understand him feeling a bit let down when everything was right and easy for him once, and now he's in trouble and faces huge debt because it's his name on the lease. We've got nothing else but to feel sorry for Wendy, who strove to be a good mother and a provider for her only son, who is now turning away from her. From what we've seen and heard, she was doing her best, but only got stabbed in her back. What do you think about Kevin Jr.'s behavior? Will Wendy get over her son's betrayal? And how quickly can these two make amends and get back to how things were between them? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can the hottest news from celebrities first. That's all for today, and goodbye.